Despite a few positive signs in the dairy market, a bump up in futures, continuing moderate grain prices, many dairy producers are under financial pressure that just does not seem to let up. Today, we're talking with financial consultant John Ellsworth, who works with dairymen in California and across the country. As the TV commercial says, he knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. Welcome, John, and tell us what you and your clients are doing to deal with this seemingly endless run of low milk prices.
Thank you, Joel. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. I think probably the biggest thing we're doing is I have a 4-step process that I like to use, and you've seen this in articles before, and that is I say that if you can measure something, you can understand it. If you understand it, you can control it. If you can control it, you can improve it, and I think that's valid. Although it's been very difficult across the industry, I think when you look at the overall margins, it's just been horrendous for just about every producer. Even those that have fairly low debt, it's been a very difficult 3 years, and now we're in year 4, which hopefully, as you said, we're seeing some sunshine a little bit in the near future, and I hope that continues, as I'm sure you do as well.
John, in our discussions, you've mentioned that one of the things that seems even more challenging to deal with is that the fixed costs in a dairy operation today seem to be endlessly going up, so that it's a challenge even when there's maybe a reasonable income over feed cost or income over variable costs. How has that affected your clients?
I would respond by saying the following, that is that some of the ratios we look at, like the milk income feed cost ratio, while that has been relatively favorable, I think it's a little misleading because the reality is so many other fixed costs have gone up so dramatically that so much more so than the than the revenue that we're generating. And as a result, I just think the margins are getting squeezed terribly into the red zone.
Tell us about some of the management changes that you, working with your clients, have been able to accomplish to ease the pressure in some dairies.
Well, I think I should kind of preclude my comments by saying that every dairy is different. So all of these 2 or 3 things I'm going to mention that we're doing at different places, we're not doing them at every place. We're doing some at each place. And I think the key is every operation is a little different. Of course, the facility that they're in can be not a handicap, but what's the word I'm looking for? A restrictive force that they have to deal with, and that's reality. We can't all go out and build a new $2 million milk barn or a $6 million milk barn, of course. So some of the things we've been doing with clients for some time is trying to boost their overall production per cow, which is an efficiency measure basically by milking fresh cows the first 28 days 4 times in a 2 times milking herd. Another thing more recently we've been doing is we're finding that milking the fresh cows the first 100 to 150 days 3 times and then converting them back to 2 times milking has given a nice boost to the production level. So at any given cost, to get that extra 3-4 pounds of milk or whatever it is from operation to operation it's been pretty monumental. That's helped. And I find myself not only studying cost per hundredweight, which I think is pretty critical. It's part of the measuring and understanding and controlling and making improvements. But I think the turns per hour in the milk barn, other efficiency measures, how many times we can turn a double 20 parallel barn, so we're milking 40 cows. Can we go from 4 turns per hour to say 5 turns per hour, which is has a direct impact on labor. And so all of those efficiency measures, I'm spending a tremendous amount of time with other consultants. It's just not me doing it, but the client and other consultants that he use trying to squeeze out as much efficiency and the results as we can. And so those are three things that we're doing at various places that might be helpful to some people.
You've worked with a number of your clients for a considerable period of time, and we know that dairy producers themselves bring a lot of ingenuity to the table. Have you observed some things that some of your clients have done that you certainly would agree with, but they found out about it and figured it out on their own? What are some of the things that producers are doing that you're seeing?
Well, I think probably a double off-sync type program is something. I have a number of clients that are on that. I mean, I'm an MBA in finance with a dairy background and a dairy undergraduate degree, but I'm not going to replace the vet anytime soon on the double off-sync programming for the breeding program. But that's an example of something that they've gone ahead and you have my absolute blessing with it, of course, as long as we can make it work. It was a little bit of money up front, but you know what? That's an example of something that's produced tremendous results. And I have some clients looking at robotics, which I think is an exciting area in the industry today in terms of labor efficiency and cost reduction. So those are things. I have some clients looking at that, and I know they'll come back to me because I'll get involved in the financing of it, of course. And so there's no question I'll be involved in the process, the decision-making process. But I have clients that have also, because of things like double off-sync, producing more heifers in the herd, they've really been blessed with some additional sources of income, selling, additional 2-year-olds. They max out their facility, and then what can you do but sell those extra animals? And I got to tell you, in 2017, for example, my most profitable client sold, $250,000 worth of excess 2-year-olds, and that made a huge difference on their bottom line, which, by the way, turned out quite positive.
Well, it's good to know that there can be options undertaken by producers with their consultants and with their team members. Thank you, John. We appreciate you being with us today. We've been talking with financial consultant John Ellsworth. He's a regular columnist with us, and you can find more information at success-strategies.com. I'm Joel Hastings for Dairy Business News.